This is the Red Beard Podcast.
Hold on to your butt.
Do we really suck? Or is this guy really that good?
I have one speed, I have one gear. Go!
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Red Beard Podcast. This is Cooley, and we got my man
Tony. What's going on, everybody? Woohoo! Woo!
Hey, suckers. We got a really good show today. We're gonna do some true crime stuff, man, because like we got into this show on Netflix. It's called Making a Murderer, and it really got us into like this whole like mindset of, you know, innocence and guilt and, you know, criminal activity.
Just people doing some
law
stupid
and justice
shit
and injustice. Exactly.
Yeah. Just
Stupid
people
shit.
doing stupid shit. That's what it is.
Our personalities really guided us towards the really crazy criminals, right? Like the crazy types, like the silliest fucking crimes that I could think of. That's what we're going to talk about tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So first up, because the whole inspiration for this is Making a Murderer on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, watch that shit. I'm only halfway through still. Like,
dude, just finish it.
I know I want to, but like, you know, we have alternating schedules, the wife and I, and whatever, you know. So we get together and we watch, because I don't want to really watch it without her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And vice versa. So
I kind of lucked out. Like me and the fiance, we just like, it was during the holidays, so we had like a couple of days off, and we were like, boom, done. Yeah. Which I think is funny that we were watching this during like the time you should be chilling with your family or watching like a documentary about murder.
And it's all sad and shit. Like,
it really is.
Like super sad.
I hope he's going to get out.
I know. They did a mistake on that.
Don't you know? Gee, Papa.
Oh.
So, but
the fucking Wisconsin accents, man.
God.
I swear to God.
Anyway, I think the whole making a murderer thing is crazy, because I've never seen such a response from a documentary. It's like insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like this is like spreading like wildfire.
Yeah, and the funniest thing about it, right? Like so if you don't know what this is a show on Netflix about a guy named Stephen Avery who went to jail for rape and was in jail for 18 years. Even though all evidence that you could find pointed to the contrary, like he was not the guy that raped the woman, right? Including DNA evidence that was overlooked at first until they had conclusive DNA evidence that was like, oh shit, we got the wrong guy in jail, right?
Yeah.
Like you even had a guy call from another county that was like, hey, we have a guy that just said that he raped somebody that somebody else is doing time for.
Yeah. And that cop was like, thanks a lot. And then he was like, that's probably nothing.
Yeah. No, the cop literally said, we have our man. Right?
No, thanks for the call, but I think we're good. Who's getting donuts?
I'm just like, so it blew my mind. But anyway, like this guy, like that's what this is about. It's about this guy. He finally gets out after 18 years, right? And so he's like, dude, I don't want anybody else to go through this, so I'm going to, you know, get them to say that they were wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And they didn't want to admit that they were wrong, so he sued them.
Mm-hmm.
And that lawsuit turned into a $36 million lawsuit.
Yeah, but then over time, the $36 million was brought down to like
$450,000.
Yeah, that's what they were going to actually end up paying him. And they were on their way to paying him when he was basically charged with murder and arrested and then convicted.
Right. So there are some questions surrounding whether or not he actually murdered anybody. Right. So anyway, that's what this is about. And the show basically points to the fact that he's framed.
Yeah. It's basically, you see everything from the defense attorney's side of the story. So everything that you mostly see points towards his innocence. And once the documentary was released and it became kind of like this huge thing and it blew up, everybody was like, well, you know, he probably is innocent, like from what I'm seeing. But then you have like the prosecution side who has seen the documentary is like, this is really one-sided. Like, you guys, this is not, you don't have all the facts. I mean, it's basically trying to tell you that he's innocent. So apparently what's going on now is the prosecution is creating a documentary on their side. of the stuff that this documentary left out that would maybe, kind of give you an idea of why he's in prison, what evidence they had that showed that he was guilty. So I just think it's interesting that because this documentary got so much hype, the prosecution is like, you know what, this is bullshit. He's in prison for a reason, and they're going to show you why. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, and so the funny thing is about this is that they're actually going to create a new documentary.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not along the same lines. This is actually a documentary that's made for the prosecution.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny about that to me is it almost feels like because they had such compelling evidence that he was framed, it feels like the prosecution's like, oh, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You left out this, and this. So, like, you're going to get a documentary that's full of all the other stuff, but none of the compelling evidence that says that he was framed. So you're going to get this documentary that paints him as a murderer, where this one paints him as an innocent man. So you'll have these two documentaries that kind of balance each other out.
But I like that. I like the fact that you could watch both documentaries and then come to your own conclusion.
Right.
Because I'm telling you right now, I know that there's probably a lot of stuff in there that's going to make me second guess the fact that right now, I'm kind of on the fence right now, but I feel like once I watch that, I'm probably going to think he's guilty because that's what they're going to do.
Right.
They're going to want to make you think that he's guilty.
And that means that whoever directed the documentary did a really good job with the material.
Yeah, exactly. They took them over 10 years to film that. And they did follow-up stuff because it actually goes all the way up until 2015. So it gets you, pretty current as to this past year of where everybody is and what's going on. So it's interesting. I mean, they just did a really good job. They killed it, and I'm pretty sure that those girls could pretty much, I think it was girls that directed it, could do whatever they want now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably one of Netflix's most successful documentaries ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only Netflix documentary that I've watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some other good ones, like I think it's like one called Fork and Knife. It's about
Knives Over Forks?
or something like that. Yeah. It's basically
Forks
about
over knives. That's what it is. It's saying you should eat vegetables more than you should eat meats or whatever.
Yeah, but it tells you like what's processed and all the crap that's in it and what like fast food actually does to you and like all this stuff.
Was that a Netflix original though?
I don't know if it was it was a documentary that I saw on Netflix.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Yeah, I definitely saw it though. That was I'm very easily influenced. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, me too.
So like every time I see shit like that, I'm just like, hey babe, I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and and like my wife is great because she'll kind of put me in check. She'll be like, yeah, no, because like we've been down this road. You are going to fucking start this shit, and then like 2 weeks later, you're gonna be like, where's the meat, right? Like so. So I was like, but
I hate lettuce.
But this
after 2 weeks.
Yeah, but this thing like really like influenced me, like made me want to not eat meat. Same thing with whatchamacallit, the Morgan Spurlock,
I didn't see what
the
you're
McDonald's
talking about.
one.
Oh, you talking about Super Size Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one actually influenced me to stop eating fast food. I won't eat at McDonald's right now.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody eats at McDonald's, and if you do, you're stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just McDonald's. Like, I mean, Burger King, McDonald's, like these fast food places. Like, I won't stop and like get something there. Like, if I'm going to stop and get something, it'll be at a place that I know. Well, I don't necessarily know it for sure, but I have a suspicion that they use like actual food.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and not that fucking goop that they press into beef patties, quote unquote beef.
Yeah,
you know,
it's actually cat.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
ectoplasm.
Listen, I don't want to, come to any conclusions here, but my chicken sandwich had a tail in it. And when I went to take a bite, it was like, so.
But yeah, this was a very good documentary. They put it together very well, and I got to tell you, like I'm not on the fence. I feel like this kid is completely fucking innocent. Mm-hmm. Could he be misunderstood? Absolutely, because I don't think he knows how to fucking conduct himself.
Are you talking about the kid, like
Stephen Avery and the kid?
Oh,
both
yeah.
of them. They cut from the same fucking cloth.
Yeah, but Stephen Avery, is smart enough to kind of know what's going on.
I don't think so.
I think he is. But I think that other kid has a documented like mental disorder. Like he's slow.
Dude, Stephen Avery's fucking his IQ is 70.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
That's a learning disorder.
Yeah, but the other kid is like lower than that. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
What'd you do to her head? We cut her hair?
Yeah.
Is that what you want me to say? Can I go? Oh yeah, he shot her in the head. Can I go to sixth period, please? I have a.
No, he wanted to
fucking-
watch like WWE, and like
Yeah.
he was in prison. It was I don't know, whatever.
So sad.
It is. It's sad because that kid is technically he was sentenced to be in prison until 2048.
But the evidence, like there is enough evidence from what I've seen in only 5 episodes, and from what I've heard, it gets even fucking more compelling. Like from what I've seen in 5 episodes, I'm just like, yo, this dude is fucking. It can't be more clear.
Have you
that
seen
it's a frame?
But have you seen the keys thing
Yeah.
yet? The key that was ridiculous.
Like the keys that weren't there, that were there all of a sudden. You mean?
yeah,
Yeah, and then the vial of blood that there's a fucking like needle hole in.
Yeah,
And the sealed box that it was in was absolutely, the seal was broken. Like there was no question.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it's if you watch it, it's one of those things where it makes you question the justice system. But I think that's what the whole point of the documentary was.
Yeah.
Like, question, like, is our justice system as good as we would hope it would be? And like one of the lawyers says something interesting. He says, he goes, you know, watching this documentary is probably going to. No, he was like, you won't understand what it's like until you're in that situation. He's like, where he goes, you'd like to think that the justice system makes sense. He goes, but when you're in a situation like this and it just doesn't work, he goes, it makes you doubt everything. He goes, and you won't
Right.
understand it until it's happened to you,
But I
or
can
like a
see-
friend of yours.
I could see if it was like one thing, you know, that looked kind of fishy, but like there's an avalanche of shit. Like an avalanche, like you know what avalanches look like when you see them in the an avalanche of shit, like dog shit that is falling down a mountain and it smells like all of it is fishy.
Right, but you have to think about this too. So all right, this petition that went out, right, has 300,000 signatures on it. Probably that was like a week ago. To get to the White House to have the president like basically reopen his case, right? So you have that, but you also have to think about.
But it's like they wrote it to the petition's going to the wrong person because he can't really do shit because it's not a federal case.
Yeah, the president can pretty much reopen the case if he wanted to.
The president can maybe influence the governor to reopen the case, but there's a series of checks and balances that keep him from. They basically have his hands tied. Like he can do federal shit, but he can't reopen that case himself. Like it's not within his power.
Well, it's also going to the Supreme Court to actually be. They went to like appeal the Supreme Court, so.
Right? And it
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing, though. So you have a jury of what 12 people of your peers, and if 300,000 people signed a petition that watched this documentary saying that they believe he's innocent, it makes it very hard for me to believe that there were 12 jurors. Like, there's no way that 12 jurors would convict him guilty if there isn't other things that we're not seeing. 300,000 people, and that's not everybody that watched this thing, are like, he's innocent. But then you got these 12 people that decided he was guilty. So it's kind of like but those 300,000 people that think he was innocent are seeing the documentary. The 12 jurors that decided he was guilty, or it was more than not, or decided he was guilty, saw everything. Things that we didn't see. So I'm really interested to see what the prosecution actually put forward, stuff that wasn't in the documentary that probably swayed those jurors to be like, well, I get what they're saying here with this key and blah, 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 and there wasn't any evidence, but there's this, this, and this that we don't even know about yet because it wasn't in the documentary. So it's like there's got to be other pieces that were big enough for them to be like, okay, we all agree he's guilty. Like, that just doesn't happen.